Hi guys, I'm going to recap a 2006 erotic psychological thriller movie, called Basic Instinct 2. This movie is a sequel to the 1992 classic, Basic Instinct. It tells the story of a popular novelist and serial killer who becomes a murder suspect when her soccer boyfriend is found dead. During the investigation, she meets a psychoanalyst who she tries to seduce every chance she gets. In this game of seduction and manipulation, who is the real killer? Let's find out. Catherine is speeding down the road while her soccer boyfriend Kevin is high beside her. She takes his fingers and pleasures herself with them while driving. Losing focus with her climax, she hits the pothole on the side of the road. The car swerves and falls into a lake. Catherine, being the one driving, is still conscious and quickly gets out of the drowning car. However, the man is not very lucky. The next day, the police take her to the station for questioning. They don't think Catherine even tries to save Kevin from drowning. From the blood test, they have found that Kevin was high on a lot of drugs. But they also find that he is given a medicine that paralyzes his lungs. The police deduce that the man has stopped breathing before they fall into the lake. Catherine disagrees with their opinion. Kevin was still conscious before they fell because he was still pleasuring her. The police are stunned because Catherine was driving 100 miles per hour while doing it. Sensing she might be in serious trouble, Catherine hires herself a lawyer. To get herself out of bail, she needs to pass a psychiatric evaluation. The police need to make sure that she will not be a danger to others if she is not staying in jail. During the evaluation, Catherine meets the famous psychoanalyst, Michael. She argues that the evaluation is pointless. He will say that she is a danger to society, while her own paid shrink will say the opposite. The judge eventually will flip a coin to decide her bail. Catherine tries to flirt subtly with the shrink, but he is not yet moved by her. Contrary to Catherine's prediction, the bail goes in her way. She is easily granted bail by the judge, because one of the witnesses has lied on the stand before. The judge did not thoroughly believe the witness statement, and so, she is being let out. After the bail trial, Michael visits his ex-wife, Denise, who works in the museum. He confronts her after finding out that her new boyfriend, Adam, has known about his scandalous patient. It is about the Czeslaw case, where one of his patients killed his pregnant girlfriend. He was his therapist and got called in for the murder trial. During the investigation, he never said anything about Czeslaw being murderous. However, as his therapist, Michael should have seen all the signs. For years, he has felt guilty about not seeing the signs sooner. Now, just when he is about to receive a promotion, Adam comes to the picture. As a journalist, he is determined to uncover the truth about Czeslaw. If he writes anything with his name on it, his reputation will be tarnished. He will never get his career promotion. When Michael goes back to his office, Catherine is waiting for him. She opens up that she was having a fantasy about killing a man while driving before Kevin died. She tells him that she feels scared that she is losing her mind. Catherine needs help to get better, and asks Kevin to be her therapist. Michael gives a number to Catherine for one of his colleagues, Milena. He does not think he can trust her to take her as his patient. To be someone's therapist takes a great deal of trust that he doesn't have with her right now. Catherine replies that she doesn't want anybody else as her shrink, she only wants him. She trusts him enough that she can open herself up to him. Michael relents and tells her that they can schedule another appointment. He will decide then if he can trust her as a patient. At their next appointment, Catherine asks him about the Czeslaw case. She has heard from Adam about his scandal. She questions if he defends his psychotic client because he doesn't think he is guilty. Or maybe he respects his confidentiality too much even though he knows his client is wrong. Hearing all this, Michael is intrigued. He finally agrees to be her therapist. Later that night at a conference, Catherine meets again with Michael and Milena. She asks for his help to hang her coat, along with a red lighter to be put in her coat's pocket. Catherine then tries to seduce him again for drinks. However, Michael is as strong-willed as ever and refuses. He doesn't socialize with his clients like that. But he is only a man, and he is actually very tempted. So, he calls up his colleague to sleep with him while he pretends it's Catherine. While they are having their fun, Michael suddenly gets an urgent call from Denise. She requests him to immediately come to an address while crying. Hurriedly, Michael arrives at the address Denise left. The place is actually Adam's and the door is unlocked. The pair gets inside, where they find Adam already dead. His neck is hung by a rope. Michael tries to get closer, but accidentally steps on something. He picks it up, and sees that it is the same red lighter Catherine asked him to put in her coat. He quickly disposes of the lighter in the trash can to call the police. After the police arrive, they take Michael's statements for the investigation. They find the lighter in the trash can and ask if it belongs to him. Michael answers that he just finds it on the floor. He doesn't mention that it may belong to Catherine. The next day, it is time for another session between Michael and Catherine. He asks her if she killed Adam the other day. She answers that he wouldn't believe her if she said yes. She also reveals that she slept with Adam before. Michael is frustrated with her answers and gets mad. He doesn't think she is taking their therapy seriously with all her games. Catherine smirks at him and seduces him yet again. She tells him that she occasionally thinks of him while playing with herself. The man doesn't reply to her seductive words, but his eyes are looking straight at her legs. Catherine notices this and gets up. Before leaving, she smiles and tells him that she will no longer need him as her therapist. After his work is done, he tries calling Catherine, but gets no answer. As a result, he leaves a voicemail asking her to meet with him. While walking home, Michael is stopped by the detective that works on Kevin and Adam's case, Washburn. Inside Michael's apartment, he informs him that Catherine's prints are all over Adam's apartment. Not only that, but 90 minutes before he died, he made a phone call to her. Catherine's defense is she was walking all that time. However, nobody saw her strolling around the street. Washburn asks Michael if she has revealed anything about her next victim to him. Michael doesn't tell him anything, because he himself has no idea. Changing his strategy, the detective asked where he was that night. After all, Adam was going to write something incriminating about him. Furthermore, he is currently sleeping with his ex-wife. He has the motives to kill him. Michael answers truthfully that he was at a conference, and later slept with a colleague at his house. Washburn notes his answer and leaves the house. Days go by where Michael tries calling Catherine over and over again, but still gets no reply. He begins to lose focus with work, until he finally sees Catherine again. He sneakily follows behind her into a dark alley. She flashes a bouncer in front of a shady motel and hands him a white envelope. The guy roughly drags her inside the dark place. Michael is concerned and loudly calls on her. He knocks on the doors of the motel to find Catherine. Eventually, he arrives at the rooftop with glass overlooking the window. From there, he catches a sight of Catherine down there. It turns out, she is not in any danger. She is having fun in an orgy with a lot of other men and women. Michael can't look away and catches her eye through the window. In a bar, Michael confronts Denise about the Cheslav case again. He is just informed by the detective that Denise told the police he lied about Cheslav. Denise corrects him, saying that she told the police Michael knew he was going to kill his girlfriend. She recounts that in the past, he admitted that he should have gone to the police. He sensed something was wrong before Cheslav killed his girlfriend, but didn't say anything. Michael argues that he told all of that to Denise in confidence. She shouldn't have said anything to Adam, who is a journalist, and worse, to the police. Michael accuses her of wanting to ruin his life and chances of a career promotion. She is insulted by his accusation and tells him Catherine is right about him. He is surprised at the sudden mention of Catherine. Now he is getting worried that she has gotten to his ex-wife as well. Denise abruptly leaves the place after getting upset. Michael follows her into another nightclub, where he sees her with Catherine. The girls head into the bathroom, with Michael hot on their tails. He opens one of the bathroom stalls. There, Denise is lying on the floor bleeding to death. He is too late to save her. At the police station, things are not looking good for Michael. Witnesses are saying they saw him arguing with Denise before her death. Furthermore, Denise has just said something to the police about him lying. Once again, Michael has the motive of a murderer. However, the police have no evidence to charge him with, so they let him go. Michael heads into Catherine's place, where he finally gives in to her temptation. After their passionate lovemaking, he opens the fridge to get some water. In there, he finds a used unknown vial. He pockets the vial and later hands it over to the detective Washburn for analysis. After a tip from a colleague, Michael investigates more on Washburn's past. He finds an article about him being a crooked cop in London. Wanting to check on the source, he goes to Adam's co-worker for an answer. He reveals that Washburn is the type of detective that would often fabricate evidence. He will frame innocent people for murders, all to clean his hands. Adam was going to write about him setting up Catherine with Kevin's murder when he got killed. This revelation shocks Michael. The whole time, he thinks the murderer is Catherine. However, with this new information, it looks like Washburn is more likely the murderer. Michael goes back to Catherine's place, only to be confronted by her. She knows that he has taken the vial from her fridge. She reveals that the vial is insulin for her diabetic friend. However, when Washburn comes back with the lab result, it's something completely different. It's something called tubocurarine. Just in time, another murder has just happened in the shady motel Michael saw Catherine in. A man died, while injected with an unknown vial. They are still checking the vial in the lab, but it's highly possible that it is tubocurarine. Washburn asks him where he got the vial from before. If the result matches, then the owner of the vial is most likely the murderer. But Michael is hesitant to reveal anything to him. He has his suspicions after knowing he has a history of fabricating evidence. Realizing that Michael doesn't trust him, Washburn hands him a phone number for Phil, another detective. Phil was the investigator in San Francisco where Catherine was accused of murder too. Michael confronts Catherine again about all the murders. She hands him her latest book in a CD before admitting to all the murder. But just seconds after she says it, she tells Michael that Denise is the one that kills Adam. Now Michael is more confused than ever. He can't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. Frustrated at everything, he tries to drown Catherine. However, before she can run out of air, he stops. She smiles at him and asks if he can find the next victim before they die. As soon as Michael arrives home, he reads her new book to find the next victim. Getting through the last chapter, he realizes that it is going to be his colleague, Milena. She is one of his closest friends and he introduces her to Catherine before. But as it turns out, Catherine has come to Milena before him. She admits to Milena that she is terrified of Michael for assaulting her and nearly drowning him. Milena believes everything Catherine has told her and now thinks Michael is the one in the wrong. The board will have to revoke his license for his unprofessionalism. However, being his friend, she advises him to go on a 28-day observation. That way, he might avoid criminal charges from being imprisoned. From the door, Catherine watches the whole exchange. Michael is frustrated how the whole thing turns on him. He demands Catherine to reveal the truth to Milena. She plays dumb and pretends that she doesn't know what he is talking about. Getting more frustrated, Michael moves to grab her, but Milena stops him. Michael shoves her roughly, which causes Milena to fall. She hits her head hard on the table and passes out. Then Catherine reveals something even more shocking to Michael. This whole time, the one who killed Czeslav's girlfriend was not Czeslav. It's actually Washburn who faked all the evidence. He wants to put Czeslav, who is a drug dealer, to prison whatever it takes. For years, Michael has thought it is his fault that he didn't say anything about Czeslav. But it turns out he has been right all along. Driven by confusion, Michael takes a shot at Washburn who suddenly comes into the house. Before coming into Milena's house, he has called Washburn to let him know Catherine is there. But because of all the confusion and her manipulation, he shoots Washburn in a moment of panic. The detective dies on the spot, while Milena, who has just woken up, sees everything. Before Michael can shoot Catherine and kill her too, the other policemen show up. They quickly tackle Michael down to the ground. After the whole incident, Michael is taken into the psych ward. He has lost his mind after everything that happens. Catherine goes to visit him and hands him the latest book. She goes on to say that after everything that happened, the real killer isn't her. It's not even Washburn, the detective. It's actually Michael who does all the killing. The first victim, Adam, is killed because he is scared of his career promotion getting ruined. He killed Denise for moving on from with a journalist that almost ruined his life. The random man in the motel was killed out of jealousy. He didn't like that another man was sleeping with Catherine. The whole time, Michael is the one doing all the murder. Catherine is just manipulating him into doing it for her. The real killer is himself. To get away with it all, he pretends that he has gone crazy so he cannot be tried with judges. They send him away to a mental institution where he can spend the rest of his days in peace. In the end, he falls for Catherine's seduction, but still manages to get away with all the murders. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.